Hello. Hi, I'm Magdala Torre, your linguist of love, and today I am going to be showing you how I pull cards when I do tarot readings. Tarot readings are something that changed my life a really long time ago. I was in a really abusive relationship, and seeing the clarity of a message before me telling me confirmation that I was doing the right thing by leaving changed the entire course of my life. So it is really important to me to share knowledge and skills. And so I want to show you that one, tarot is not a scary thing and that anybody can do it. The cards themselves are not magic. They become magic through you and through your interactions with them. And they're a tool for magic and especially reflection. That's, at the end of the day, what is more magical than taking time to reflect on your own emotions and become aware of your own shadows and your own light, and then being proud to be who you are. So I'm going to show you how I pull cards. If you don't know, I have journaling prompts that come out every single month on my website. It is free for you there. And then sometimes I post them here depending on, I try to post them here as well, but there's so much on my website as well, and I'm working on filling it even more. I have an erotic gallery. For those of you who don't know, I'm also an erotic artist. I have an OnlyFans, and I'm starting to move a lot of my content onto my website as well, so that you can also purchase it there and support what I am doing, which is destigmatizing sex, kink, and taboo. So let's go ahead and get started. I have 2 decks with me today, and every single month, in addition to my journal prompts, I also provide tarot lays. So they're like little short reflective tarot lays, so that if you're just starting out using tarot and figuring out how to do that, then this gives you like a short and easy reading that you can get started with. So I have picked for today is Monday, so Mystic Monday's Tarot is the tarot deck that we are using today. It is created by Grace Duong, and she's absolutely amazing. I'm going to tag both of them in this video as well. And it comes with a perfect, this is the deck that truly helped me learn. It was the second deck that I had gotten. My first was the original tarot art, and then this deck, and it's a really important deck to me because this deck helped me through a lot of really hard decisions. So this is the guidebook that comes with it, and it has drastically altered how I read the cards. It was one of the first ways. I have 2 texts that I use, this one and then the Power of Tarot. And that was how I got started. And then the more that you read for yourself and for other people, the more in depth you can read the cards. So, of course, on the bottom, we have this beautiful, the first card in the tarot deck, the Fool. So beautiful. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and shuffle. There are a lot of ways that you can read and prepare your cards. What I really find is most important is that it's something that feels significant to you. You don't have to cleanse your deck, not in the way that you think you do. It can be as simple as sitting with it quietly and cleansing it with like meditation, or keeping it in a special place. It's really dependent on what feels like a ceremony to you. King of Wands just came out. Leader. Ooh, okay. We have some leaders here. Thank you. All right. So I just do a little bit of shuffling. I am going to light a candle because I just like to do that. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just sit with my deck because I'm having like a rough day and ask what I'm missing. Like, what am I not thinking about in this situation? The other deck I have with me is my Kuan Yin Oracle, and this is by Alana Fairchild. Such a beautiful deck. This one is really connected to like the divine feminine energy. So I have these 2 decks today. So I'm going to be being really vulnerable because I'm pulling my own cards here. I'm not going to take all of these, but I will look at this one because it is stuck on the bottom. Ooh, weave the future golden. Something good is coming your way. Kuan Yin now assists you to weave your future into the present moment, to call in and draw to you the opportunities, teachings, circumstances, and synchronicities that are waiting for you, and which will enable your soul to live its divine destiny with greater abundance, bliss, and creative fulfillment. Ooh, that is beautiful. Let's put that at the top. Let that guide our reading today. So as I was saying, I'm pulling my own cards today, and that's a really vulnerable thing. Whenever I pull cards for other people, I like to give them the option to have their reading by themselves, because it can be really raw at times. So some of the ways that I like to cleanse my cards is I do smoke cleansing, or I'll do fire, or I'll do crystals. Like I'll put crystals on the decks like this. And you don't have to, but it's like a nice thing to do. I'll often have like another stone on the table just for me to, I don't know, feel. It's a tangible item that I can feel. This one is a beautiful stone. This one is sodalite, I believe. I'm still in the process of learning all the stones, and there are amazing people out there who can tell just by taking a look. I will link some beautiful shops near me in this description as well. They're not supporting this video, it's just they're amazing and I want to share them. So I'm going to go ahead and light a candle. I'm going to use this green candle. It was picked at random today. So to me, this is indicative of abundance. That is another word that came out here as a synchronicity. Weave the future golden. This feels like it's about clarity in money, a relationship with money. Nurturing myself through the money that comes in. That's something that I've been working on. So I'm going to go ahead and this is a quick tip. If you're looking for alternative ways to practice magic, use birthday candles. They are a beautiful, accessible way to have a little bit of magic in your home, and you don't have to watch them as closely. So these are a really good alternative if you don't have access to like spell candles. Okay. So then I usually collect my energy and I'm quiet with myself for a moment. I breathe in and out. May my spirit be guided to the abundance that awaits me. May it please bring me there safely and securely, and always through love and good, for the highest good for me and for everybody else involved. Just clearing the space with a little bit of incense. You can use sage, of course. When I was first practicing tarot, I would lay my cards out and go by way of feeling. That was one way that I started, and I moved to really enjoying shuffling and allowing cards to fall out. I find that's a more complex technique because oftentimes cards fly out in like pieces and chunks, and so learning how to read the cards in juxtaposition to one another is just, it takes more practice. Otherwise it can feel overwhelming and confusing. So today, while I would usually be shuffling, I'm going to show you the first technique that I used, which was laying out the cards and allowing things to me to feel my way through the deck. I also like to take a hit before I do a reading sometimes. Sometimes I don't, but this feels like a really special one. It'll be really direct guidance, so I'm going to take a hit. I usually have some really delicious cannabis from Miss Grass, but I just ran out, so I have to get some more. So today I am using just a pen that was donated to me. So salud, saha, cheers. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Just so you know, you can often also read things that happen around you while you are doing a reading. Always read the signs around you, but if you're just starting out, that might feel overwhelming. So you'll notice that I might draw my attention to the candle flame for something, or the way that something happens, and I just wanted to explain that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and lay out my cards. Shall I bring you closer? All right. Here we go. well to just pay attention to the card that we pulled in the beginning. Weave the future golden. Something good is coming your way. All right. So for today's reading, I'm going to be using the lei that I give people who come to my website, anybody who's part of my sensual sanctuary and self-love sanctuary. So I give out prompts every single month with my Journey Within program. Some of you have been with me on that since it began January of 2022. And so today I also include tarot leis for just a little bit of extra self-reflection. So those are always free for anybody, and they're on my website. So in the tarot leis, I usually do 2 cards so that it's not overwhelming for people who are new to reading tarot. So I'm including pulling an oracle card as well. Oracle cards are decks that are not the original tarot archetypes. Sometimes they include those archetypes in them, but the tarot decks are typical archetypes. So they have the different kind of energies in the tarot deck. I find like oracle messages are really helpful for people who don't know how to read tarot cards just yet or want extra guidance, people who just like extra guidance or like more detail, because it is, once you have the tarot cards out, having the oracle cards help clarify messages. It just makes it like really clear in comparison to not trusting your own intuition. That's what it is. It helps guide you towards trusting your own intuition a little more easily. So I have this deck out today, and the Mystic Mondays. Love that deck. So these are the ones we'll be using. I am doing the lay down method where I'm going to feel my way through and select cards, whereas I usually shuffle and I allow cards to fall out. And this is because for me, I find people who are new, this is the easiest way to kind of pull cards for yourself. And it feels very ceremonious as well, right? So I go on ahead, laid out my cards, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to pick 2. One I will lay in card position number 1, and the other one I will lay in card position 2. Two cards came out, so I have the choice to keep both cards. This was the one that I felt. And this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay it to the side and say, all right, this is for clarification. It will help clarify the card that I felt, okay? So then I'm going to feel through for the second card. This one. Cards followed it, but I didn't feel like they went with that card, so I allowed them to stay. So I'm going to pull my cards together, and this card is standing out for me for some reason, so I'm going to lay it to the side. And then I always like to look what's at the bottom of the deck at the end, so I am just going to lay this right over here and read those later. I'm also going to go through and pick one more oracle card to go with the message, and I'm feeling called or drawn towards this spot, so I'm going to lay it with this card. Okay, this one. I'm feeling called to leave this one here. All right. Wonderful. So we have our cards laid out. For some reason, I feel like showing what is at the bottom of the deck first. So this is usually, I like to read it as like what is kind of like in the ethers, what is like an energy that might be kind of present but might not be here right now, something I might not expect? What is like an unknown factor? So I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the bottom. Ace of Wands. Okay, Ace of Wands is all about like a brand new beginning. It's usually a really passionate one that's full of action and impact. So an intense new energy. So the thing I don't expect. And I would say that's pretty accurate. I always anticipate that something big is going to happen, and then like it never does. So I never actually expect the thing to make impact. So to me, that's boding pretty well. So the cards that we have for, I'm going to pause right here and I'm going to show what the lay is. And I'm going to do a voiceover for it. All right, so I have pulled some cards. I went and stretched for a second, and then here are the lay positions. So you have card position 1 and then card position 2. I've placed oracle cards wherever I felt guided to. And then we have these are the main 2 energies. These are the main 2 energies for answering our questions. And this is clarification for this energy. So card position number 1 is what weeds are in your soul garden that need to be picked. And card number 2 is what blessings are coming to harvest. If you want to go ahead and take a second and breathe in and out and put these cards on the table. If you don't have a tarot deck at home, you can also use playing cards, just so you know. That is a quick way that you can draw for minor energies, because it only really has the minor arcana. So you'll get like you would get the minor arcana versus the major arcana. So major arcana are the major archetypes that we have in tarot. This includes things like justice with the scales. It includes like the emperor and the empress, those really big energies. And then the minor arcana are like the 5 of swords, which would be 5 of spades. Your hearts are cups, so you 2 of cups, which is the soulmate card. It's like becoming one to oneself, finally loving and coming into that kind of acceptance and having a relationship with oneself. And of course, commonly also tied to the bond, so some kind of major bond with someone, a union. So whether that is a spiritual union, whether it is a love union, whether it is union with self, that is that card's major archetype energy. Oh, okay, sorry. Clubs would be wands. Think of like carrying a torch, right? So that's like carrying a club, right? That's a light. And then pentacles are your diamonds. Think of a diamond as like a way to pay for something. A pentacle is a way to pay for something. So that is how you can think of those symbols as being tied to tarot. So if you're in a pinch, if you don't have something, you can use playing cards as well. So let me go ahead and show you. So after, you can pause this if you would like, you can come back to it later, but I'm gonna go into what these cards mean. So our questions for this month: what weeds? Our questions for this month, card position 1, what weeds are in your garden that need to be picked? And position number 2, what blessings are coming to harvest? Hey Google, pause. All right, so I've picked and selected our cards. They're laying on the table. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the tarot lay questions for this month. So, in card position number 1, what weeds are in your garden that need to be picked? And this is your soul's garden. So, it can be toxic negative patterns, it can be negative thoughts that go through your mind, it could be a situation, it could be a relationship. Like, think of it very broadly, okay? Depending on who you are in your own circumstance, this will probably look different compared to somebody else's story. So take this as vague, and when you pull cards, that will be more specific to you. So if you have your own deck at home, this is where you would want to pull along with me. And then, what blessings are coming to harvest? So this could be anything. It could be the relationship that you have been waiting for, maybe takes a move forward. It could be you finally pass that big test that you have been like working towards, right? And that can be a spiritual test, something where like you've promised yourself you're not going to do the same thing over and over again, and trying to work towards healing and moving towards that. And like, so you finally pass that test that shows yourself like, I did it, right? So it could be something like that. It could be finally getting the finances in order so you feel stable and secure and you don't have to worry about anything else. It could be a variety of things. So let that be, again, broad. All right. So we're going to go and uncover what card number 1 is. I'm very excited. Ooh, okay. 6 of Swords. So I'll go ahead and show you the card. So 6 of Swords is usually about the journey. I pulled this in Tata Tarot. If you watch that with me and Dee, that happens on Tuesdays. So 6 of Swords. This is this would be 6 of Spades if you're using playing cards. This is about passage or a journey over, right? So moving from one place to the next. In the traditional deck, there are people on a boat and they're rowing and they're heading into like, they're just starting to see an island ahead of them. So this is about the journey, right? So what weeds are in your garden that need to be picked? That is a very vague card. So I'm glad that another card came out with it so that I could get a little clarification for myself. So on this journey, okay, I'm guided to remind us that in the Tata Tarot that we last did, this card came up as like, oh yeah, to remember to take pleasure in the journey. To take pleasure in the journey. Have a romp in a field is specifically what I said. Okay. Rude. Queen of Swords. Okay. This is really interesting that it's clarifying this card. I'm going to pause on that for a second because I don't want to read it with this much intense energy. I want to like calm myself down and then come back to that card. So we're going to pause on that one. 6 of Swords, taking the journey, taking pleasure in the journey and enjoying it. And if you notice, this card is adjacent to Weave the Future Golden. So if we're reading these together, we're seeing like this is the journey towards that future that's golden and amber and color, and it just like makes you like the good memories, right? But you won't, I see, okay. You won't ever get to have all these golden memories on this journey if you are closed off to enjoying them. I've been working on being more present and enjoying the moment more. And so, for example, recording something allows me to fully enjoy it because I want the things around me that will bring me pleasure while I read, right? So thank you for watching this video and watching me show you how to pull cards so that I can also enjoy this even more. Honestly, because then I take the time to get my things out, and it needs to be a ceremony for myself. Ooh, thank you to this deck. I haven't pulled from this deck in a while, so you'll notice as you get more decks that sometimes they'll have like a certain energy because of when you used them in your life. This is the deck that helped me break up with the boyfriend that I was seeing, who was not giving me anything. Like, literally, no emotional fulfillment. Oh man, this deck helped me through that. So this is reminding me, like, hey girl, like, be more present on the journey, like, enjoy it. Take the things out that will help you slow down and enjoy things. You're smart, you're gonna get there, and you already know that. And right now I'm hearing ringing through my right ear. So I read those signs as well, if you recall. So your left is your feminine side and your right is your dominant side. So that's a male energy coming in. And I'm sure that that is like the energy, it felt down lower. So the energy of my past, probably him. Because he was somebody who helped me learn that. So that was like a good part of like him that I take with me, is like, thank you for helping me see that I'm worth slowing down for. Thank you to him for that. Okay. So if I come back to this question really quickly, what weeds are in my garden that need to be picked, I'm reading this for me as like, okay, make sure that you balance that move forward energy that is like, let's push forward. This is an uphill motion forward is being asked to, like, hey, you don't have to see it that way. Like, you can hike for a while and camp out and like enjoy something, right? So that's how I'm reading that for myself, is like picking out the weeds of those like negative thoughts that are like, oh, you have to go do this right now, otherwise your time is not being productive, right? It's my overproductive mama bear in myself, the one who's like, okay, like, in order for us to succeed, in order for us to survive, this is the me that I've had to put on in those moments in order to move myself forward in the ways that I need to in order to succeed and survive. Because I didn't have somebody to rely on early on. So if you can see by the way I'm talking with myself here, I'm having like an internal dialogue with myself that I like need to hear right now. So that's how tarot can be a really good reflective tool. So thank you for giving me a space where I can be vulnerable to share those things with you. I overwork myself a lot because that is a pattern that I was taught early on. Okay, so I'm going to read the oracle card with this. So Nectar of the Lotus. And I feel like crying energy rising in me, so I'm just going to prepare you for that. Okay, Nectar of the Lotus. Your devotion to helping others has the effect of squeezing the heart chakra of the Divine Mother. From her heart drips nectar, sweet, sustaining, life-affirming energy that feeds you and allows you to nourish many souls. When you are full, well, and vital, you are able to nourish others. You are guided to receive your fill now, for your own benefit and for the benefit of all. That was really beautiful. So to me, if you notice, that was adjacent to that Queen of Swords energy, which let me show you this card really quickly, just in case I haven't. She is like, I think this card definitely shows off her negative energy and not enough of her positive energy. And maybe that's me reading this card, but like this is the woman that has to cut herself off emotionally from like certain things in order to move forward, which is something that I do. It's a part of my beauty, right? My tenacity. But the person that I'm often meanest to is myself in the process of that. Because I don't take into account my own feelings about like how something has affected me or hurt me. And so that's when I need to, because I do that really well for everybody else. Anybody who is close to me in my life knows that that's like how I am. Like I just want to wrap my wings around you and protect you from everything, including hurting me. So something that I have worked on this past year is standing up for my own emotions and my own feelings in the process of things. And it's caused a lot of people to leave my life. And in effect, something that I am learning how to do and have done a really good job of this past year has been loving myself and sitting with myself at the same level. Picture like, and I didn't have this, so like I had to learn how to do this. It's like sitting down with yourself like you're a child again, right? And asking that child like, hey, do you feel safe right now? Okay. I'm glad you feel safe. What do you need right now? Okay, let's go get that. Do you want to cry or do you want to be angry? Okay, you want to cry. Go ahead. I'm ready to turn over this other card. That felt like identifying the weed in my soul's garden, right? Sometimes it's people, situations, predicaments you always get into, and finding the root of it in your soul's garden. So it feels like I just found it. And then at the same time, it feels like I just found the flower that's growing there. Like, because I picked the weed, I found the flower, right? And because I was able to pick the thing that would have squashed the flower, Now I can nurture the flower and allow the flower to grow. And our second card, so I'm going to read that as a sign. Things are taking off. Enjoy and be present in each moment. Part of the most fun I have when I go on a trip is takeoff. Always. Because it's the moment where you're about to leave reality and it's like you head into something else. The fantasy of life that shouldn't just be fantasy, should be also reality. But I think as people, we're still learning how to find that balance. Okay, let's pull over this card. So in our second position, we have what blessings are coming to harvest. I want to breathe before I pull this one over. I want to really be present for this. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so I just flipped this over and they're taking me on a slow journey here, okay? So, and I say they meaning like my spirit guides, like my past future selves, like everything that forms pressure at like this moment, right? The blessing that's coming into me is progress, right? So I was like, oh, that's like a smaller energy than I was hoping for, right? And that is like I'm being guided back to this Queen of Swords energy, right? Like that means we have to work even harder, right? That kind of like instant voice that comes in to like say that. So I've already picked that weed. So, okay, I'm identifying that. What I'm being guided back to is that progress, like progress always is just a forward moving energy. So it's not a don't wonder how big the next. I'm going to show you the card. So if you see, it kind of looks like in an ocean that there are like markers in the water to me, and like you're seeing the land ahead, right? I see the land ahead. These look like, hills in the distance or like golden sand dunes. That's how I read that, right? Oh, that's in the distance, right? But right now we're right here, and like we see how much more we have left, right? But don't forget to see how far you've already come. And look how close we are. We're so close. But we've been making progress this entire way. So don't overthink how big you've already. I guess maybe like stop thinking about how much more space you have left and just enjoy the journey, girl. You're getting there no matter what. So you might as well stop looking forward to getting there and just be present in whatever is happening right now. Take that breath. And enjoy whatever is happening right now. Treat it like it is the best goddamn movie you are ever going to watch. Think of that. Your life is the best goddamn movie you are ever going to watch. So enjoy the minutia of it. Find the blessing in the moment. Okay, being guided. I have a card over here. It's an oracle card. And then another card, if you remember, I was like, oh, feeling guided to pull this and put this aside. So I was reminded that this card existed, but I'm being guided to flip over the oracle card first. So I'm going to take that as an intentional thing and do that. Blessings of the Moon Maiden. The Moon Maiden with her lucky hair, and this is Hare. So there's a rabbit in this image, which rabbits have been a theme. A friend brings me like little random treasures, and 2 of them were related to like rabbits. So that's a synchronicity for me. So I just wanted to like bring that up since I'm doing a reading, primarily to show you how you read cards. So that is a synchronicity. So what I'll do is I'll look up what rabbits mean in full. Fertility, abundance, so many different, often abundance, because they're so fertile. Fertility. So to me, that is coming up as something. So as I read this card, I'm going to keep those themes in mind. The Moon Maiden with her lucky hair brings auspicious tidings of prosperity and abundance to you now. The universe seeks to replenish, restore, and create through you. Allow yourself to receive beyond what you have thought is possible by opening your heart with gratitude now. I'm going to read that sentence again. Allow yourself to receive beyond what you have thought is possible by opening your heart with gratitude now. Let the blessings of good fortune from beyond. Let me read that again. Let's sit in a moment of gratitude. I think that's what I'm being guided to do, is let's just sit in that word for a second, of gratitude. So for me, I am going to be thinking about the small things of progress that I've seen, the small ways that the universe has shown me signs of you're on the right track. So that might be something that you feel guided to also do alongside me, but I'm going to sit in that energy for a second. And I'm going to play my singing bowl. So this is a third eye chakra singing bowl, which aligns with your intuition, your psychic ability. this card again. Blessings of the Moon Maiden. The Moon Maiden, with her lucky hair, brings auspicious tidings of prosperity and abundance to you now. The universe seeks to replenish, restore, and create through you. Allow yourself to receive beyond what you have thought is possible by opening your heart with gratitude now. Allow the blessings of good fortune from the beloved Mother, Maiden of the Moon, Kuan Yin, flows easily into your life now. This is the card that I was guided to pull after I had pulled out the Three of Wands. I feel like this card is something that I emotionally need to see. They have been warning me about this card. Yeah, the Chariot. Things are going to happen really fast. Because what I don't expect, remember I flipped over in the beginning, what I don't expect is the beginning actually happening. And this card has been symbolic to me for a really long time. This card is about something that I have been like waiting for a really long time. Like a seed that I kept like watering and was like, is this seed ever gonna sprout? Is this seed ever gonna sprout? And they're saying, and they're guiding me to remember my beautiful money tree outside and how abundant that money tree is now, how beautiful it is. Oh my God. I sit outside with it and it's so beautiful. You probably saw it in one of my first Roots to Home episodes. I had just repotted it over there. So they're saying like things are gonna move in really freaking fast, girl. So it's time to take this energy and allow her to sit as Queen of Pentacles for a little bit. That's what I'm feeling guided to remind myself. Allow her to just sit for like a little and enjoy. Just enjoy. Enjoy. Be present with yourself. At the bottom of the Kuan Yin Oracle, we'll close with this, is the Orchid Priestess of Destiny. The Orchid Priestess of your highest spiritual destiny calls to you now. She inspires you to discover and express your purpose. You're encouraged to live into your potential. You are encouraged to live into your potential with all its uniqueness and beauty. Her sweet flute playing deep in your heart, blossoms of orchid and chrysanthemum falling from her feet, she stirs your heart to quest for your true soul passion. And then I already know that you want to see this card. Orchid Priestess of Destiny. So, I'll close with this thought that I'm extrapolating from my experience and then reading this card. So I'm going to read this as an example before I go. So she inspires you to discover and express your purpose. So I think, like, for most of our lives, our goal is to figure out who it is that we are and what it is that we want to do, what drives us forward in life, what makes us excitable for living each day. And I've come to the place where I can now say, like, what my purpose is. I feel like I'm here and I want to be here to help destigmatize what it means to have sex, what it means to love one another, what it means to be a global citizen. And my specific niche in that overall goal and mission is how to take pleasure in sex again. How to take pleasure in life, but specifically sex, because our puritanical roots have made us have withdrawn the joy out of sex, has robbed us of bliss from it, if you will. But it is very blissful, it is very exciting, and it is very beautiful when you get to know who you are and what you love and what you find interesting or what you're curious about, and you have a safe place to explore. And safe place doesn't just mean a physical space, but an emotional space, in a loving space, in a relationship. Do you feel safe with one another? So, if you want to help support my mission, it's never expected by just being here and engaging in what I do, writing to me, sharing my content with other people. That is support, and I thank you for that. But if you want to be a part of helping me sustain the projects that I'm working on, if you want to support me and what I'm doing, you can find me on Venmo at Linguist of Love. I'm on Cash App as Linguist of Love. I have a website, linguistoflove.com. You can join there. I have a lot of free content there because I believe in accessibility as, like, being so important. Everybody should have access to the tools that are going to heal them. And sex is a healing, beautiful, incredible tool. And I want people to have access to that. And in order for that to happen, we have to destigmatize sex, kink, and taboo. I'm Magdala Torre. I am Magdala Torre, your linguist of love. Let me seduce you.